Hello, peasants of YouTube, and welcome back to another That's Just Joe video. My name's Joe, and that's about it. So, we had some really exciting news yesterday concerning the DCEU, or no longer the DCEU, but in fact the DCU? I'm not sure anymore. But anyway, let's get straight into it. So, as you probably know, this was announced. DC names James Gunn and Peter Safran to head Warner Brothers' superhero division. So this is exciting news. So these two are going to be behind the newly developed DC studios, overlooking the direct DC films and television shows. Personally, I'm quite shocked that this has happened because this has been a long fan sort of, a lot of fans have wanted this basically. And James Gunn, he's going to be looking over the creative side of this new studio, and Peter Safran is going to look over the business side. And I think that's really good, having like sort of co-CEOs to David Zaslav to overlook the upcoming DC franchise. And it does need a reboot. We all know that. It needs a rebirth. It needs a refresh. And I'm very, very excited for it. But this is an article from The Wrap, and basically what it states is Guardians of the Galaxy series director James Gunn and The Conjuring and Aquaman producer Peter Safran have been appointed to the new roles of co-chairman, not co-CEO, co-chairman, and chief executive officers of DC Studios, overseeing the overall creative decision of the DC universe across film, TV, and animation under a single banner, the studio announced on Tuesday. So Gunn and Safran will report to David Zaslav, who is the chief executive officer, he might as well be cheeky, Warner Brothers Discovery, and will work closely with Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi, co-chairpersons and CEOs of Warner Brothers Film Group. So there's been a lot of news coming out of this as well, like a little breakdown. So James Gunn has signed a contract for 4 years in this new role. The other thing to take note of is that they won't have any creative input over the next Joker film. That was also revealed. That's going to be down to the co-chairpersons and CEOs of Warner Brothers Film Group, Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi. They're going to be overlooking the next Joker film. I don't know if that means they'll be overlooking the Batman as well. Basically, what this is saying is that James Gunn and Peter Safran, sorry, I'm having to get used to the name, are going to be overlooking the DC universe, which is what it's going to be known as now, not the expanded universe, the DC universe. So they're not really going to have a huge say in films that are separated from that. So like Joker 2, like the Batman, they're going to be mainly concentrating on this universe they're building. Like James directed The Suicide Squad, which is actually one of my favourite DC films. And, Aquaman, The Flash, that's going to be important in the upcoming months and everything. Because obviously that film will be coming out quite soon. I think it's November next year or something. I know that doesn't seem soon, but it is soon when you think about it. And they've got a lot to do. If The Flash is successful, they've got a lot to do to make a sequel. Obviously recasting Ezra Miller due to everything that's been happening recently. But this is very exciting. Look, James Gunn is a really talented bloke. My only problem is, as we know, a couple of years ago, he was fired from directing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 due to some very weird tweets. I'm not going to say offensive, but very creepy, weird tweets. And rightly so, he was taken off Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Then DC saw he was available, got him to do the Suicide Squad, and then Disney went, oh no, we want him back, just for this one time. So he agreed to come back to just do the final Guardians of the Galaxy film of this group, and then he obviously was making he just finished the Suicide Squad. Then he was making Peacemaker, which he wrote during the pandemic. And Peacemaker, let's all agree, it's one of the best DC television shows ever. I really loved Peacemaker. And I think DC has a really good place in television, high quality content, basically. Not the CW stuff, and I haven't even watched the CW stuff, but I think DC has a really, really good chance being on television more than actually in the movies, especially the DC universe that they're creating. It goes on to say Gunn and Safran's hire ends a months-long search by Warner Brothers Discovery for new leaders to oversee its more lucrative franchise, with attempts to find an equivalent to Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige falling short. Its producer Dan Lin was previously a front-runner for the job, but talks fell through. And, it goes on, and, Gunn and Safran have added, we're honoured to be the stewards of these DC characters we've loved since we were children. The passion is there. And like I was saying about James Gunn, my only problem is this is a bit of a comeback for him. And there's been instances where this has actually happened to women who have been in these sort of positions before, and they've never come back from what they've done in the past. I'm not quite understanding how James is able to get away with it, basically. But I know he's a very talented man. I'm glad he's looking over the creative, and then the other guy is looking over the business. I think that's a really good idea to have two people, working together, but also doing separate jobs to make sure DC Studios becomes, well, I guess the plan is becomes bigger than Marvel Studios. Remember, Marvel Studios the MCU began back in 2008. And it's getting a bit saturated now. Apart from the television market, again, I think Marvel will be better on television than releasing these films and everything and taking huge risks. But the plan is obviously DC Studios becomes the ultimate competitor to Marvel Studios. I think they could have come up with something better than DC Studios. Seems a bit like a rip-off, but we'll see. There's actually something here saying, under Hamada's tenure, obviously Walter Hamada recently left after the release of Black Adam. I still haven't seen Black Adam, by the way. And Hamada's tenure, DC released several successful films, including Shazam, Aquaman, Joker, and The Batman, all which got sequels greenlit. But the studio also saw misfires at the box office, like Birds of Prey in 2020, and even James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which failed to make it its $185 million production budget, but did spawn the hit HBO Max series Peacemaker, which has a second series in development with Gunn as writer and producer. So there's a lot of exciting stuff. I'm sure Gunn's going to do a fantastic work in the creativity side. I don't think everything's going to be a huge hit, because if he's writing and directing Peacemaker still whilst being in this job, he's going to be spread thin at first, I believe, anyway. Unless he's finished writing Peacemaker season 2 and ready to direct it, I think he's going to be spread a bit thin. But it's really good that he has a partner in this, a business partner that oversees all the business stuff. What I'm really hoping to see from the DC universe is less, I don't know, containment. That's the problem in the Marvel universe. There's so much content that the audiences are starting to go, I can't watch all this. And that is the problem. I really think the trajectory for DC should actually be making each film its very own thing. Its TV shows, its very own thing. Don't set it in a cinematic universe and everything. It gets a bit confusing. Go back to the good old days where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Eric Banner's Hulk aren't based in the same universe. They're just two separate things. I think that should be the way forward, because then it gives directors and creatives more creativity making these films and TV shows without being in a having a list of rules they have to stick to. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens. I can't judge yet. I am a little worried as well, just in terms of like what Gunn is going to bring to the creative side. I think he's going to bring some characters we hardly know of, like, we hardly knew who Iron Man was until 2008, and now look at him, he's like one of the biggest characters, superhero characters in the world right now. So I think Gunn could do something similar by bringing in a character you wouldn't think to make a film about or a TV show about and really make them huge in popular culture. But that's it. That's my thoughts. What are your thoughts about James Gunn and Peter Safran making DC Studios? Let me know in the comments below. And I'm sorry I look like shit. I'm really happy to be coming back to making content again. I'm very excited, and I look forward to making more videos. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe to keep updated with the latest nerdy news. Thanks, I guess.